It's time for the Movin the Chains podcast. Your home for high school football coverage in the Palmetto State. Every team, every game, every week. And now your hosts, Kevin Thomas and John Epps.
What's up, folks? Kevin Thomas, John Epps here. Week 6 high school football preview show here. John, we were talking before we started here. It's not the biggest week as far as games go, not as far as, what we've seen in week 4, week 5. There's still a lot of really good football games out there, a lot of kind of low-level region matchups that we can't wait to see.
Yeah, it's really great that we're really getting the region play now. We've got the fanfare playing schools across the state lines. I think Catawba Ridge, they might play more schools from the state of North Carolina than the state of South Carolina so far this year. So it's good to get some region matchups and get some really relatively even matchups.
That's right. So I want to say shout out to you guys if this is your first time checking us out. Appreciate it. Like us on Facebook. Follow our post. Like our post. Share it. Tell your friends. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Movin Chains at MovinChains. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, across audio-only version, also on YouTube, all that stuff. So wherever you guys get your podcasts, we're there. So definitely follow us on all platforms and get some different information all over the place. We've got a new recap show coming out on Sundays on the podcast-only version. John and I doing the preview shows here on Tuesdays. So a lot of good stuff for you guys, along with some different interviews as well. So I want to give a quick shout-out to Kevron, Derek, Ryan. Brian's in here. Kyle's in. Thank you guys already. Got a comment. Kevron says, Gray playing Batesburg. Yeah. Should we again? I think Gray gets back on the winning track. John, I'll go ahead and say it. We got a lot of flack for this last week, man. Hand up. I picked the wrong team. I picked Gray. I'm sorry. I do think our reasoning was sound. I think we had a good reasoning behind it. We said that if Gaffney sticks to the run, they can win the ball game. They almost didn't do it enough, but they did a great ball game back and forth. Gaffney's a contender in 5A. Everybody knows that. They're one of the 2 or 3 best teams in 5A. Gray is one of the probably 2 or 3 best teams in 2A. So it will be a great ball game. But whenever we see these teams play some bigger teams here in the playoffs for sure. Yeah,
I tell you what, and Gray, what was it, 47-yard field goal?
Yeah,
at the end of the game?
I think it was good for 45. So
hats off to Gaffney. Congratulations to the Indians. But, Gray, they gave them all they wanted.
Yeah, great performance from both running backs. KZ Adams, 200-plus yards for Gray. Tyler Smith, I had a $180 something for Gaffney. So had a great ball game there back and forth. And interested to see, how these teams, how far they can go in their classification. But let's get it started off, John, here with one of our biggest games of the week here. One that you usually, on a normal year, wouldn't be a big deal. But this year, it is. That's Riverside traveling to Dorman. Riverside 6-0, first time in school history. They shut out Blue Ridge 37-0 last week. Dorman coming off a 44-20 win over Ridgeview. A nice win there for them. What do you see happening in this ballgame between the Warriors and the Cavaliers, John?
I tell you what, if you asked me a week ago, I would say, Riverside's going to win this game, and it might not be very close. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed with Dorman last week knocking off Ridgeview. We know how good Gray is. Mm-hmm. We know how good they are. We know that Gaffney's good. We can see those teams, what they do against other teams, and it tells us a little bit more about some of these other schools.
Yep.
Ridgeview played a great game against Gray 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And then Dorman absolutely smashed them Friday. So, Dorman, they might be picking up on, getting in their groove here.
The normal Dorman season, right?
The week prior, they lost to Fort Dorchester.
Mm-hmm.
That was a competitive game. They lost 38-28 in that game. I think this is a much better Dorman team right now than what we saw week 0 losing to Clover.
I think part of that, too, is they finally found a quarterback. Earlier they were playing 3 different guys, which is, you can't really get any kind of consistency and fluidity out of your offense doing that. I think it's finally settled on the kid Hudson Talley at quarterback. He's played really well the last 2 weeks for them. Obviously not quite enough against Fort Dorchester, but played very well last week. And they got a good running back. And a Foster kid had a big-time game for them last week, scored multiple touchdowns, big time, over 150 yards, I think, for them. So he's been getting it going. They've got weapons that wide. We know Kendall Norman. We know DJ Porter, one of the top recruits for next year. Big-time guys outside. And they've started to kind of find some consistency there on offense. And Coach Gutshaw seems to kind of have them rolling in the right direction, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. And they're going to need it this week because you look at Riverside and go, gosh, they're 6-0. How cool is this? And you had a great interview with quarterback
Rob Sanders. Yeah, great kid.
He had some good comments to talk about how, the school and, everyone involved in the high school is really getting behind them. This is a baseball school we're talking about here. And they're playing great. But, you look at the best thing they've played all year is probably man.
That is a word.
They won that game, and their defense has been impressive. They haven't not given up a point in 3 weeks. They have gone 2 games in a row, not giving up a single point.
So I don't care who you're playing at that point. If you're shutting out teams, none of their 1A, 2A, 3A, whatever, that's impressive to have back-to-back shutouts like that. So that's a big performance to that defense. Some stats on our guy Rob Sanders you just mentioned. He's really a true dual threat, John. Last week against Blue Ridge, he went 14 for 19, 179 and 2 touchdowns. And he ran it 14 times for $162 and 2 touchdowns. So he can really get it done. He's kind of, quick. He's kind of deceiving with how well he moves in the pocket, but he can really get out there and sling it. And then you got to mention, Crowd's wide receiver and the defense, like you said. What do you see happening in this ball game? A big-time region matchup in 5A, that region in 5A there that you usually don't think it's going to be a big game. But this year, can Riverside prove that they're for real? Does Dorman, show, hey, we're big Dorman? Like, what do you say here?
Honestly, I think both happens. I think we see a close game. I think Riverside's going to be very competitive. I think the defense, as good as that defensive is, as good and versatile as Sanders is at quarterback, is going to give them a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, I think Dorman has probably got better talent over the course of the team, and they're finding themselves. Now they've got some confidence. Now they know how to move the ball, how to score. I like Dorman in this game, and it's going to help that it's at Dorman University as well.
Yeah, and I say one thing that I think gives Riverside a good chance is I think Dorman's defense hasn't been great this year. They look at that game one, they lost to Clover. They didn't give up a ton of points there, but Clover's, they're not a big offensive powerhouse. Fort Dorchester scoring 38 is pretty impressive. Grisby scoring 20, that's a good number there. And I think people can score on those guys, and I believe that Rob Sanders and those kids will score some points. I think I'm going to take Riverside to win. Maybe it's a homer pick, I don't know. But I'd love to see it. I'm not sold still on Dorman after a couple performances I've seen from them. I think that Riverside team is for real. I think they're going to show it Friday night.
I tell you, if it gets into a shootout, I like Riverside.
Yeah.
I think Riverside's got the defense to be able to make more stops than Dorman if it turns into that kind of ball game. If you have a kind of game that we saw at the reservation last weekend, I like Riverside in that kind of game. If it stays low scoring, I like Dorman.
Yeah. The experience, I think, comes out at that point, which what happens late in the game. So we'll see if the Riverside is ready for a big-time matchup or not. And should be a great ball game Friday night. A couple comments here. Derek says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Derek? We'll get to your game a little bit. Looking forward to that Lakeview game for sure." Mark Tyrell Corley said, "What's up, fellas? What's going on, man? Glad to have you in here." Patrick says, "Does John have a comment for the Gray gang? Go Indians!" LOL. Patrick,
hey, I said it'd be a close. I did pick Gray. So I got to eat my crow there. But gosh, what a ball game!
Great ball game. Yeah.
And hey, Gavin probably doesn't win that game 10 out of 10 times. Let's be honest with ourselves here.
It was a ball game.
It was a good game.
Went back and forth. We saw Gray have a 10-plus point lead early. Gaffney get a big lead late. It was really a wild ball game, and I think that both teams got better. That's why I was talking to a guy at the game. I was like, hats off again to both these coaches for scheduling this game because it made both teams better, helped both teams kind of learn what they need to work on going into the playoffs. And I'm glad to see that this could happen. And usually a normal year it might not happen because it got scheduled so late and whatnot. But hats off to Coach Jones and Coach Holmes for making this happen and putting that game together to really just make both teams better as we go into the season.
Yeah, and I tell you what, hats off to Gaffney. I feel like I knew a little bit more about Gray going into that game, and I like what I knew about him. But yeah, Gray or Gaffney, they proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Close game, tight game. A game that maybe, surely the fans didn't think it was going to be that close. I don't know if the players and staff felt that way too, but if they didn't, hey, they did a great job battling for 48 minutes and winning that ball game. That's something that's going to come in big time.
Yeah.
Come region
when you're playing at TL Hanna or playing, Dutch Fork and playoffs, wherever you're playing, that'll definitely help out. And we went deep into a recap on that on our podcast. They came out Sunday. Patrick's going to check that out for sure on Spotify, Apple, whatever. So definitely tune in for that. Amy Shepard is ready for region play to start this week. Yeah, me too, man. Glad to see some of these teams that know each other well. Maybe get a little hatred in there, get some of those ball games going. That'll be fun. But John, let's go to our second game of the week here. A ball game we may be at. That is Seneca at Daniel. Seneca off to a hot start this year, John.
Yeah, Seneca is a group that we don't normally talk about a ton, and they quietly they are 4-1, 5-1 on the year.
So, yeah.
Their only loss was the Easley, which really scares them.
But Easley, did come back and beat Woodmont last week. So
They
he's
did.
not a bad team.
They did, but there's not a whole lot. You go down their schedule, they haven't. Easley's probably the best team they've played all year. They haven't had really any friction. They've won 55-14, 59-14, 54-22, 44-3 over East Side, 54-0 last week against West Oak. They got beat by Easley, but they haven't played a group. Honestly, I think close to what Daniel has.
Yeah, you flip it to that side. Daniel, number 1 team in 3A, has been all year, and honestly, they're deserving of it because they return just about everybody. The quarterback Pyramid's back, the receivers Myrtle back, Spadafinia's back, Brown Wallace is back. What's his name? Right, Brown Wallace. Yeah, he's back again for them.
Jaheim Lawson,
defensive line is back. Shaq Lawson's little brother. They got Chris Edgett running back. Gabe Smith, a big-time corner DB I like a lot. Blew out Emerald last week. No surprise there. Daniel, the thing that we say week in about Daniel, they haven't been tested either. They haven't played anybody, very good. And part of that's just because, I guess, the location up there in that kind of triangle of the Piedmont area up there, whatever you want to call it. There's not a lot of really good football teams right now besides Daniel. So I guess in that area, there's no one can play. We wish we could have seen them step up and schedule a big out-of-conference game we mentioned, but that didn't happen. One thing that does make me think that Seneca may have a chance here, a slight one, guys, here, is they returned 14 starters from last year, 7 guys on each side of the ball. The quarterback, Mosley's back, the running backs, Lewis and Campbell, and they returned 4 offensive linemen. That's a theme with me. A theme with me all year long. You heard on the previous shows up here now. If you bring back your O-linemen, I love that. So 4 linemen back, good quarterback, 2 good running backs. The line is probably still Daniel minus 21. I don't know. But, do you give Seneca any chance here? Or do you think it's just a walk in the park for the Lions?
I think if Seneca can start off on the right foot, start the game off, say if they get the ball and they go down and score, or, they stop Daniel and go down and score, those first 2 drives I think are going to be big. If Seneca can, after each team gets a drive, if Seneca can be up 7-0, I think they have a small chance.
Yeah.
But having 4 offensive linemen return is great. The rest of the guys, honestly, for this game, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because I've seen the guys that Daniel is returning this year, and they are really, really good.
Yeah, they're fun. If you get a chance to watch the Lions, Pyramid's a really good player. The kid at receiver, Merck, is a big-time baller as well. So they've got tons of talent there. I think Daniel wins. I think they win pretty handily. But I hope that Seneca can put up a good fight. I really do.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Daniel get a little bit tested here, too. Because, really, I don't see, you look at Daniel's schedule, getting into reach and play here. Wren, maybe Seneca.
We don't
is
know
going to be the
about Wren
best team
anymore.
they're going to play. They're scheduled to play Woodmont. No, they're not. They're not. That game's not happening. BHP is going to be the last game. Game. But this could be the toughest test for Daniel until they get to playoffs.
Yeah, and we both think Daniel wins big there. Comment from Amy says, we've already played the number of games we played all last season. Crazy, just happy to see the boys play. Yeah, Amy, that is a great point, And one thing I want to build off of that, John, is that we've seen a constant decline in canceled games each week. We keep mentioning that. I think I've seen 1 so far canceled this week, maybe 2. So good to see, people are either figuring out how to deal with it better. Maybe they're just not getting COVID. I don't know. But I love that we're actually seeing more action. I think a couple weeks ago we had up to like 40 games canceled across the state. Maybe 3 weeks ago I think we had 30. 2 weeks ago we didn't have as many. So we're seeing it slowly decline. So glad to see that happen. And hopefully we can get on a full season. I'm still worried we get the playoffs when a team pops up with COVID. I don't know what's happening with that situation. But hopefully we've avoided that and we'll see how it goes.
And we got, crossing my fingers, knocking on wood here, we got relatively fortunate in the playoffs last year. There were not as many cancellations as I thought we might see, but there were some big ones. Canyon Oceanside is one that stands out. So, I really hope that we don't have something like that, especially to one of our, we don't have any guys because it's all kids trying to have fun, trying to make some memories, but certainly don't want one of the
big dogs,
the top players to fall victim to it either.
Brian says that if Riverside beats Dorman, I'll probably be sold on them. Yeah, I think that's how I would feel about it. Every couple of years we see a team out of Greenville like a Riverside or an East Side or, whoever start off really hot and they get into region play and they kind of get beat around a little bit. So people are worried that's what the case is. But I tell you what, I think this is different just because Riverside's got some guys that transferred in and have kind of come together, not the typical Riverside players. So I think they may be a little bit more apt to being a real team or a really good team. I think they've got a good shot to, even if they don't beat Dorman, I think they'll be competitive Friday night, I think.
I think so too. And what I said earlier too, I think even if Riverside doesn't win the game, if it's a competitive game that's, a game that is in question, deep into the fourth quarter, I think even that will give Riverside some confidence in that region. Hey, man, if we can go toe-to-toe with Dorman, we can go toe-to-toe with just about anybody.
Most years that region, they're almost out of it. But this year with that region, I mean, you've got Burns down here, Dorman down here, Riverside, we know talk about them, Spartanburg, kind of a down year as well, and then Wade Hampton. They're going to beat Wade Hampton. They've got a good shot at finishing obviously 2 or 3 in that region, I feel like, if not winning the thing if they play well Friday night.
And this very well could be, and it's crazy, first week of region play, hey, this could be deciding the region championship.
And I thought we've seen a good bit of that. We saw last week with Dillon A, and they were like, this is the region championship.
Yeah.
Same thing, a couple games this week we'll get to. Actually, the next one here, our third game of the week, South Pointe traveling to Catawba Ridge. That's really the de facto region championship as well. There's nobody in the region that's going to play with those guys. I tell you what, John, I mentioned it before the show. This is the game that was really big about 3 weeks ago, looking forward on the schedule.
Yeah.
Kind of see some things that have made me not as excited about it. Catawba Ridge losing to Greenwood. No bad loss there, but just the way they not scoring points worried me. And then losing to South Mecklenburg, I believe it was 17-3. Another week of not scoring any points with the number 1, 2024 quarterback, Jaden Davis at the helm. That really worries me for Catawba Ridge. And then to flip it there, South Pointe, great win over South Florence 2 weeks ago. Great win over Northwestern early in the year. To lose to Spring Valley 14-7 last week. Spring Valley, no pushover, no shame losing that game. But 14-7 to Spring Valley is not a good loss.
No, and they easily could have lost that game to South Florence.
Yes.
That game.
Triple overtime, I believe it was.
Flip on that one. But I think you look at South Pointe's resume, and it's a little bit more impressive than Catawba Ridge. And what I said about Catawba Ridge earlier, gosh, they played 2 teams or 2 games, back-to-back games outside the state or outside schools against outside the state around the Charlotte area. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, because we're not super informed on the North Carolina team, so it's hard to tell really how good those guys are.
West Cabarrus and then south of Mecklenburg, if anybody out there knows anything about those schools. We hear about the prospects going to ACC, SEC schools around here from the Charlotte area, and I definitely don't recall West Cabarrus. South Mecklenburg, maybe here and there. Charlotte school probably has some talent, but hard to tell. Catawba Ridge last few weeks, but the thing that does scare me about Catawba Ridge is Greenwood. We know Greenwood, and again, no shame in losing that game, but they did lose.
Yeah, at home as well.
Yeah, so I think South Pointe's the better team here.
Yeah. I'd say at South Pointe, we mentioned losing 14-7 to Spring Valley. One thing they've got to get shored up, John. They gave up 9 sacks last week. That's going to keep them scoring, obviously, so they got to get that offensive line fixed. I like the quarterback, the McCrory kid, the Thompson kid at running back's a good player. One of my favorite players I mentioned last week, Wayman Jennerette, the wide receiver for those guys, had a big game against South Florence. He's just a big-time player there. And obviously, AJ Miller at defensive end's got, I think, 7 or 8 sacks already on the year, so he's a big player there for them. Catawba Ridge, we know about Jaden Davis, big-time prospect. Still a young kid, obviously. You got to remember that. I think he's a sophomore this year, he is. So he's got a lot of growing to do. The Henderson kid at receiver, I think you said he's a dual threat guy. I think he plays cornerback and receiver. I believe he plays both ways. I think he's recruited as a corner, I think you're telling me. So they got some athletes there. I think I'm going to leave with South Pointe as well because Catawba Ridge just seems a little bit more off right now than what South Pointe does.
Yeah, you mentioned Quan Patterson. Getting recruited as a cornerback and currently is committed to Syracuse right now. And Syracuse, they put out some pretty good cornerbacks.
So it sounds like we're both leaning South Pointe there in that region matchup.
Yeah, I like South Pointe in this game. A big thing for me too with South Pointe is, that South Florence game is awesome to be able to play to come out on top in that game, and also start the year off and beat Northwestern. We saw Northwestern a couple weeks ago. Just demoralized a very, very good team. I like South Pointe in this game. I think South Pointe, a couple weeks ago, I would put Catawba Ridge here, South Pointe maybe here.
Yeah. I think it's kind of flipped now. I agree. Let's get into our fourth game here, and this one's for the little guys here. Not quite the littlest of guys here, but this is a big 2A matchup, John. a lot of bad blood here between these two teams. That's Wade Hampton at Silver Bluff. Wade Hampton coming off a victory over a 4A Hilton Head Island team last week, 28-24. They scored with 26 seconds left to win. They've got a quarterback, the Risher kid, threw for 2 and ran for 2 last week. Ran for $184 on the ground. Really good player. And they had Robinson and Williams both over 10 tackles last week. So they've got some players there. Silver Bluff blanked Aiken 34-0. They have a really, really good defense, John.
Yeah. They saying they have a good defense is one way to put it. They haven't given up a point yet.
I told you they were really good, guys.
They have not given up a point in the year 2021.
Yeah.
They are very good.
Yeah, Trayvon Dunbar at DE kind of leads that defense. They've got an athlete, Jaden McLeod, that's really good for them as well. I like him a lot. I tell you what, I'm going to pick Silver Bluff, and here's why. And I think Wade Hampton's a very good football team. Beating a 4A school at Hilton Head Island with Jalen Sneed, the Notre Dame commit to an impressive victory. I think Silver Bluff has something to prove because they're tired of hearing about 2A's, Abbeville, and Gray. That's the only teams to worry about. It's just I think Silver Bluff wants to show that, hey, we're for real, and we're going to be there to compete at the end as well.
Yeah, I think so too. And, with as good as Silver Bluff's defense is, they're going to be in the game almost any time they play with that kind of defense. I think Silver Bluff is tough. I've seen Silver Bluff play. I mean, that's another program that's got an identity, and they kind of have a chip on their shoulder the way they carry themselves. I like Silver Bluff a lot in this one.
Playing that game at home, I'm going with them, I think, as well. And then our fifth and final game of the week, two teams had a tough week last week. Not because they played bad opponents, but they just lost to pretty good teams. That's Myrtle Beach at West Florence. Myrtle Beach went down to Fort Dorchester, lost by, I believe, less than 1 score. They had an early lead there. Not really a great end of the game situation for them. Then West Florence lost to the team that's on the rise right now, and that's Hartsville.
Yeah, that's right. Hartsville started off slow this year, but they have.
We believe they've won 2 in a row. Yeah,
we know they got talent. They've knocked out a couple big boys. Myrtle Beach, I think. We haven't seen enough of them yet. They've only played 3 games so far. We know that they've got some incredible talent. Adam Randall over there, incredible talent for them. Maybe the best player in the state. Myrtle Beach is very good. Nearly knocked off a very good Fort Dorchester team. Last week. They beat a good Oceanside team, who's also another team that's starting to find their way now. I think Myrtle Beach got something to prove just because they haven't played them.
I think so too. I'm still not sold on West Florence. I got a stat here for you on Myrtle Beach. Like quarterback Ryan Berger, only took him 3 games to already go over 1,000 yards on the season. He's got 841 passing, 162 rushing, 12 TDs, just 1 pick, and that pick was on a deflected pass. So Berger's a real deal. He's an App State commit, really good player, and he's surrounded with talent. The Randall kid, bunch of offensive linemen back. They're going to score a lot, and I don't think West Florence can catch up or can keep up.
I don't think either. West Florence is solid. I'm very impressed. They started the year off beating Lexington, which is a very good win for them.
Who was a good team. They beat what?
Ashland
Ridge 2 weeks ago, and then beat Irmo, a good team as well, last week.
Yeah, I think Lexington, that's a good win for them. But other than that, they beat Wilson, but they should.
Wilson's not very good.
They should beat Wilson, and then Hartsville, they got slammed. So I think if they can't be competitive with Hartsville, I don't see them having much of a chance with Myrtle Beach. And I think Myrtle Beach, you're talking about it in the comments. Hey, Daniel, they're excited they play 5 games. They only played 5 games last year.
Yeah. I
think with Myrtle Beach, they probably kind of have that attitude. It's like, we're good. We know we're good. We just want to play.
Let's get on the field. Get some light beside their own guys. Yeah, exactly.
So I like Myrtle Beach in that one. I think they got the talent. They're going to be another team. We kind of just haven't talked to them about a ton.
They hadn't been on the field. Yeah.
So,
hard to talk about them.
Yeah, I like Myrtle Beach in this one. But, hey, West Florence, if you go to that side, I'm sure they're over there watching film, getting ready for this game going, hey, we got a chance.
Yeah.
We got a very good chance. We're looking at, I think Myrtle Beach is ranked 3rd in 4A. West Florence right now ranked 7th.
Yep.
So big top 10 matchup too.
Also, Chris says, what's up, guys? What's going on, Chris? Good to see you from you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's give a quick shout out here, John, to our sponsors before we get into some statewide games for this week. First up, the Georgia Agency. They've been serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 35 years. They're a full-line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Murrells Inlet. They can help you all across the state. They have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, etc. So wherever you are, they can help. whether you're a seasonal worker, maybe you're a waiter or something like that, you need to get your insurance that doesn't come from your company, check these guys out. Or if you're a small business owner and want to get it for your whole company, give those guys a call. Check out Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew, thegeorgiac.net, thegeorgiac.net. And then our second sponsor here, our newest guys, that's Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees the other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Security Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securityadvantagefcu.com. That's securityadvantagefcu.com. Security Advantage Federal Credit Union. Win at banking, thrive at life. Member NCUA. So check out our two sponsors there. If you guys need insurance or banking needs, give Georgia Dixie and Security Advantage Federal Credit Union a call. They will certainly help you out. So, John, let's get into some statewide schedule here for Week 6, and maybe pop out a couple games here when we see one that jumps out at us.
Yeah, we get started off. Gaffney will go to Bowling Springs. Gaffney, they probably a well-deserved, relaxing game.
Yeah, they're going to blow out Bowling Springs. Bowling Springs is so bad. So bad.
So it'll be good for Gaffney to kind of catch their breath a little bit after a hard-fought game.
Yeah, and it's sad to see it. Well, I think Bowling Springs lost, some like 20, 30 seniors or whatever it was from last year. These guys are bad. I don't think they've even scored hardly this year, John. They haven't scored much. It's embarrassing on us to how far that program's fallen. I know they're had a couple tough years, but you expect them to be a little better than what they are.
Yeah, I felt like 2 years ago they were pretty solid.
Yeah, they had playoffs. I think they did.
They had good quarterback play.
Yeah.
They were a team that was kind of like what Hillcrest is this year. Mm-hmm. They're not great. They're not a top 10 team, but everybody's got to take them serious. But this year they're just their homecoming status is what they are.
That's right.
Everybody wants to play them on homecoming.
Got Keegan in here. Keegan, appreciate you tuning us in, man. We appreciate you checking us out. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, we've got over at the Field of Champions, Spartanburg will be at Burns.
That's a game. I don't want to mention that for a second, John. Always a good ball game, first off. Early in the year, Spartanburg was not looking very good. I know that they obviously didn't have the Jeter kids. They lost to Gaffney earlier, lost a couple of games early. I think with Jeter back, I think they're going to beat Burns.
They've picked it up last week.
They've scored some points. They have, and we know Burns can score points, but Burns can't stop anybody.
That's right.
And I think Spartanburg's got a little bit better defense than what Burns does. I think Spartanburg and the Vikings win this game at Dixie Field.
I tell you what, I can't disagree with you. I think Burns is a little bit better, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Burns because they're at home, but I think this could be a shootout. This could be a really, really game.
A big region matchup for playoff potential here, honestly.
Exactly. The loser of this game might not go.
You got a chance. Yeah, I got to see. I know the brackets are out. I got to look and see how that works. I don't know if they're getting 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 out of that region. So you don't want to be in that 4th spot. So go ahead and win your game and take care of your business for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is a big one. Down in the lower part of the state, we got Wando at Cane Bay. As you said, Riverside will be at Dorman. Ashley Ridge going to Fort Dorchester. That could be a little bit of a test for Fort Dorchester. I think Fort Dorchester wins that game. But Ashley Ridge is good enough to make it.
They can give them a fight. Yep.
We've got up in Fort Mill, Nation Ford at Fort Mill. Berkeley will be at Goose Creek. Hillcrest at Malden.
The Golden Strip rivalry.
Nice rivalry game.
We've seen a bunch of those games between those two. I do hate it that this year they don't get to play twice. Usually they start the season with that game and finish it with it. One on the region, one's not. This year only getting to play once. Hillcrest had a nice win last week over Wren. Which they're supposed to beat a 3, like we talked about in the game.
But Wren's good. Wren's good.
Yeah, Hillcrest played well. The Judy kid's having a really good year at quarterback. Your boy Edgar McFadden at wide receiver, I think he's got 5 touchdowns. He's having a really good year. Logan Coldren, for them, the running back, is having a big time season. But then you flip to Malden's side. Malden's, like we say every week or every time I talk about him, has as much talent as anybody in the state.
They do.
With, Lucas on defense, Caldwell on defense, playing receiver as well. Coach Naismith's done a really good job there. Who do you like in this matchup between those two, John, over at Freeman Field?
I like Malden. I think Malden's a better team, and I like how Malden has. Hey, we got 2 really, really good athletes in Lucas and Caldwell.
Yep.
Let's put them on the offensive side of the ball too. Caldwell has been brilliant at wide receiver for Malden, catching touchdown passes almost every game. It seems like. I like Malden in this game. I think they've got a little bit superior talent in this one. And I think they're a little bit better team.
A few things going against Malden, though. Hillcrest has won 8 in a row in the series, which you don't think that. Because these teams have both been about the same level the last couple of years.
That's crazy.
But the Rams winning 8 in a row is impressive. So far on the year, Bennett Judy, the quarterback for Hillcrest, has 1,362 passing yards, 13 TDs, and 2 picks already. So he's having a very good year for them. McFadden's got 5 touchdowns. Coldren's got 4 on the ground and 2 receiving. Hillcrest can score. I think that Malden defense will be too much. I think the Mavs win at home as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great game, though. That'll be a good game to go to, and it should be pretty competitive, pretty close. And It means a lot to both of them. That's for sure.
Yep. Brian said he's taking Spartanburg as well. I agree with you, Brian. I think they're a little bit better right now than what Burns is.
It's gonna be a close game. We'll go to Northwestern up in Rock Hill. This could be a good game. Ridgeview at Northwestern.
Another team trending the wrong direction, Ridgeview. Lost
right.
to Gray 3 weeks ago. Lost to Dorman last week. Not even close. They may get smoked by Northwestern.
Yeah,
Friday night.
yeah. Northwestern has been pretty even keel all year. They've been pretty strong. We've got Lexington going to River Bluff. Rock Hill will be at Spring Valley.
Doing hit that one. Spring Valley. Nice one. That's what South Pointe. Rock Hill, we got their first win last week over Clover. First win in 2+ years or a year plus
they
now.
They did not win last year.
Bearcats are on a roll here.
Yeah, all over here. I tell you what, going down to Harry Perrin Stadium in Columbia, it's kind of an intimidating environment. That stadium goes down to a bowl. It's a nice, professional-looking setup. Go down that game if you got any kind of interest in either of those two teams, because that's a pretty cool place to watch a game. But I think Spring Valley's.
I think so too.
They're a pretty good team.
Yeah,
they're one of those teams that aren't in the top 10, but are very good.
Yeah, right on the edge probably.
We've got Conway going to St. James. West Ashley will be at Stall. Somerville will go to Stratford. Socastee will be at Sumter. Woodmont going to Anderson playing Hannah. That could be a good game.
It could. Two teams that kind of do that same type of offense there. So Woodmont, tough loss to Easily last week.
Yeah, and now, hey, we might be having to give Easily some respect.
Yeah,
now. We'll see how they do in region play.
I think we'll learn about TL Hannah too. They haven't, they played Wren. Besides that, they blew out Westside, who I think was decent last week. They haven't had really a true test either. We'll see how well Woodmont can hang up against those guys.
And then we'll end it with Dutch Fort going to White Knoll.
That's gonna get ugly.
It's so weird, Dutch Fort. And
that's gonna get ugly, John.
Hats off to Dutch Fort for scheduling a pretty competitive schedule. And, of course, they were scheduled to play Gaffney. We know what happened there.
Yep.
Did not play that game.
Played Burns, played Greenwood. They did play some big games.
But now like it's the other way around for a lot of schools. Now they get into the meat of their schedule playing region play. Now Dutch Fort, they get to cruise a little bit.
Yeah.
Now they get to cruise in their region.
Yeah, agreed.
So you want to flip over to 4A here?
Let's look at 4A next. Let's just keep on rolling through it. Yep.
So my team of the week this past week, AC4, they get to host Westwood. I think that will be a pretty
dropped a 50
Berger
win on Chapin. Down 14-0, score 50 in a row. That's impressive, huh?
Hey, I was right on that one. That time I was right. Chapin got me a couple weeks ago against BC, but I got him that time. Midland Valley will play at Airport. Beaufort will host Hilton Head Island. Catawba Ridge, we said, hosting South Pointe, one of our games of the week. Bluffton will go to Colleton County. Darlington hosting South Florence. Should be a great win for South Florence.
I tell you what, you've seen, John, the Sellers kid is injured now for South Florence. I think he came out in the first quarter last week. They hung on to beat a pretty North Myrtle Beach team. I think they said he's out probably 3 to 4 weeks. They don't really know for sure yet. But Darlington's very bad, so South Florence is still going to win.
Yeah, they are.
But you hope he can get back soon before some of these region games and playoffs happen, because he's a very good player. So hopefully he's back soon.
Hey, silver lining, if you got to miss a game or you got to miss a stretch of games, Darlington, you want to be.
Yep.
Sorry, Darlington, but that's what it is.
Yeah, Derek said the same thing. Hopefully the QB from South Florence will be okay. I hope so, man. He is must-see TV in the area. He's a very good player. So hopefully he'll come back here before the season gets over. We've
got Charles Rusk on the east side. Greer hosting Greenville. Indian Land, who has now been in the top 10 for the last
Indian Land is playing some good football, John.
Yeah.
They are. Doing a hit on Greenville Greer, usually a good ball game. This year, I think Greenville's just way better than they are. I think this is going to be a couple score game. I like the Red Raiders to roll.
Yeah,
even though it's in the water tower, I still think they got the talent.
Yeah, and if I'm Greer, going into that game knowing, hey, we're not the better team in this one. Hey, play with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Go out there and try to do some goofy stuff. Try to do some things that Greenville is not expecting. Take some chances, because we saw Greenville play, and when things don't go their way, they get in their own head a little bit. So I don't think Greer's got a great chance of winning this. But if I'm Greer, that's what I try to do. Yeah.
I think we both think Greenville wins. They had a nice bounce back last week, a nice shutout win. Had a lot of penalties though, so that worries me a little bit. You got to play a little bit cleaner football moving forward. But they've got so much talent; they'll be there at the end. I feel like.
This could be a sneaky good game. We have Irma out at W.C. Hawkins Stadium hosting Richland Northeast.
That is a good ball game.
Irma's a good team. Richland Northeast, they have been cellar dwellers for the last few years. they're having a much better season this year.
Finally playing some ball. Love the quarterback at Irma. Isaiah Whiteside, really good player there. That's one I don't know who I think's going to be a good game. I think
I think Irma wins that one, but I think it's gonna be a good game. We've got this one, another one that I think could be sneaky good. Florence hosting Greenwood.
Yeah.
Florence dropped off a little bit. They were impressive in some losses.
Now, they did have a nice win last week over North Augusta. That kind of surprised me.
That is a good.
That was a big win for them. Greenwood, I know, had the week off after losing to Dutch Fort. They were off last week. I'm sure they're ready to get back rolling. I think they get a victory, I think, Friday night.
Yeah, I like Greenwood in this one, but that could be a tough game. Could be a tough game. We've got Dreer at Lugoff Elgin. It's alumni night at Lugoff Elgin. I'm not going to
John's going to be there.
But sounds like a big time. Everybody have a good time that goes to that game. We got James Island going to Maybe River. North Myrtle Beach will host Wilson. Should be a chance for North Myrtle Beach to get back.
I think they need to win bad. They've lost a couple tough ones late, and Wilson is not very good, so they should get on the board.
South Aiken will host Aiken. Walhalla hosting Pickens. As we said, West Florence hosting Myrtle Beach. That's a top 10 matchup. I think that's number 4. Or no, I said it earlier. Number 3 Myrtle Beach and number 7 West Florence, I believe. And then Easley will go to Westside to round it out in 4A.
And that's a game Easley can really prove some more stuff to us. We've seen Westside have a couple of nice ones. They beat Burns. It's a nice win there. Didn't look great against TL Hanna last week, but they've got some offense. If Easley can beat them, maybe even start turning some heads a little bit.
I think so. If you can string 3 wins together, it's like, hey, well, surprised Easley won that game.
Yeah.
And then do it 3 times, 3 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then you go earn some respect. Not like anybody needs respect from us, but.
All right. Well, what do we know, right?
So flipping over to 3A. This will be on Thursday nights. Academic Magnet will host Battery Creek. Bishop England hosting Oceanside. Carolina will go to Blue Ridge. Brooklyn Casey hosting Fox Creek. Camden hosting Crestwood. Clinton hosting Union County. I'm kind of running through these games because I think a lot of these games will not be close.
Yeah, I think that one has a chance to be, but I think Clinton is very good this year. I think I see they're slowly climbing up the polls, but I think people people who just watch football kind of recreation.
We kind of get soon you'll be saying it all by yourself.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how good Clinton is. That defense is very good. That's a powerhouse program in the past that finally seems to be kind of getting back to where they need to be. Could be good because Union County is always tough. I think the Red Devils are gonna get a nice win here.
Yeah, Union is not as good as I would like them to be. I grew up when Union County was just dominating people.
Yes.
My high school included, but Union can't just trying to have the season that you expect from the Yellow Jackets. I think Clinton wins this one, but you gotta take Union serious.
Yeah.
Whenever you're you gotta take them serious. Another really good game. I hope we get to go to this game. Will be Daniel hosting Seneca. Emerald will host Broome. Loris at Georgetown. Gilbert hosting Orangeburg Wilkinson. Hanahan will be hosting North Charleston. Keenan hosting Mid Carolina. Marlboro County will go to Lake City. Manning at Lakewood. Here's an interesting matchup. Dillon going to Lamar.
It's a fun game.
Got
scheduled last week. Dillon had a big win over Ainer Friday night and beat them pretty handily. We said that we need Dillon wins, they not blow them out. If Ainer wins, be close. But Dillon to do that in their second ball game of the year was impressive to me. I know that Lamar has a lot of good talent. They really do. I think Dillon's got a little too much firepower for them.
I think it's really, really close, but I agree with you. I think Dillon's a little bit better. And hey, shout out to Dillon alum, Amari Huggins-Bruce, having a great start to the year up at Louisville.
Playing very well for those guys.
Very cool to see local guy from a little school doing well on the big stage. Moving on, we got Loyal Richland and the host Chester. This was a game I think was supposed to happen a couple weeks ago.
I believe so. They moved around the region, played some stuff. That's a big game there. I think that Loyal Richland is undefeated in region. I think they're 2-0. Well, I think Chester may be 0-2, if not 1-1. So big game there. If Loyal Richland can win that, they're really in the driver's seat in that region.
Yeah, I like Chester in this game, but they got a lot of pressure on them. They got a lot of pressure in this game. It's going to be a tough one for them.
Yep.
That's going to be a really, really good game to watch. A really good game to follow there. Pendleton will be hosting Belton Honey Path. Berea will be at Southside. Strom-Thurmond going to Swansea. Ainer at Waccamaw. And Woodruff will host Chapman.
A good 3A slate there for sure.
So going into 2A, we've got Abbeville. They'll host Crescent. Central will go to Andrew Jackson. Andrews, not to be confused with AJ, they will host Lee Central. Batesburg, Leesville, they're going to host Gray. Batesburg, Leesville, not a bad team.
Yeah, not as good as they have been in the past. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, they're just not on the level with Gray. And hey, not many people are.
That's right. Yeah,
not many people are.
That's right.
I think there might be a handful, maybe 2 handful in the state that are. But hey, if you're Gray, still got to play the game.
That's right. You got to win.
Got to play the game. Blacksburg will host St. Joseph's. Sherrall will go to Buford. Chesney will host Legion Collegiate. Also a Thursday night game, Newberry will travel to Columbia. Edisto will host Barnwell. Florence Christian hosting Pelion.
Interesting matchup there. Get a little Skeeza.
Skeeza
and a 2A public school playing. That'll be fun.
And a good Skeeza team.
Yes.
Skeeza team at that. Christchurch will play at 96. North Central hosting Chesterfield. Philip Simmons hosting Burke. Eau Claire at Saluda. As we said, Wade Hampton down in the low country going to Silver Bluff. Big time matchup there for 2A. I like Silver Bluff in that game too. And I wanted to mention this earlier. You talked about, hey, in 2A, it's Abbeville and Gray getting all the talk. And we've been doing that too.
Yeah. It's hard not to. I mean, what those teams have done.
Number 3 is Silver Bluff.
Yep.
And I'm willing to bet those guys know that.
Yeah.
And we think 1 and 2 are here and everybody else is down here. And they want to prove everybody wrong. And this would be a good step for them if they can get a good win against Wade Hampton Friday. We have Ridgeland, Hardyville will go to Timberland. West Oak will host Liberty. And Woodland will host Lake Marion.
Yeah, Cavante said, just mentioned that Ridgeland, Hardyville, Timberland game. You know, Timberland has really impressed me. That win over Lamar early really put me on notice. I think they're going to keep.
They blew them out.
A couple scores. Yeah, I think the Wolves keep rolling Friday night for sure.
Yeah. Timberland, I grew up knowing Timberland as a basketball school.
Yeah.
Here's another school. Not used to seeing them really, really good in football. Having a really good season this year. And then going down to 1A, got Bamberg Earhart at Allendale Fairfax. Baptistville will host St. John's. Branchville hosting Williston Elko. C.A. Johnson hosting Louisville. That could be a good game. I really like Louisville, but that's those are 2 teams that are pretty solid.
Yep.
Blackville Hillary will go to Calhoun County. Cross will host Whale Branch. East Clarendon hosting Scotts Branch. Green Sea Floyd's hosting Johnsonville. Hunter Kenner Tyler at home against Denmark Olar. Hannah Pamplico will go to Ridge Spring.
That's one that got canceled. It's actually now Lakeview's going to Hannah Pamplico. Really big game, really big region game there in 1A. I think Hannah Pamplico is still in the top 10. I believe if not, they're just out of there. Big time game. You know, I know on the road is always tough playing at HP, but I like what Lakeview's doing. They keep rolling. You know, the kid at quarterback, the Bethea kid, DJ Bethea, is a really good player. The wide receiver Shaheed Dawkins had a great catch Friday night. If you saw it, Darius Leonard, New Coppins Archer, he caught it behind the defender's back. Awesome catch for him. You know, they've got some really good players there with those two. Then Norton on the defense side leads them. Hannah Pamplico is good. You know, I keep expecting them to win a big game. They haven't done it yet this year. I know they've had some issues finding games a couple times, but I think Lakeview wins this game on the road. I like the Wild Gators' chances a lot.
I do too. This is a 4 versus 10 matchup. Hannah Pamplico is still staying in that top 10. But yeah, I agree. I think Lakeview's a little bit better.
Curtis Staley says Bamberg actually has Lucy Beckham on Thursday. I think I saw that got moved around. So Bamberg, Lucy Beckham. Sorry for Lucy. Bamberg's going to win. I mean, you hate to say it, but
yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know a whole lot about Lucy Beckham. I don't think that school's been around too long.
Yep. Let me ask you guys if you're in there. I know we've seen Richmond Burnett a couple times on our list here. Do we know who they're playing? They had Hannah Pamplico scheduled. That got moved. Do they have a game rescheduled or not? Does RSM have anybody? You guys know that part of the state a little better than we do. So if you know they have a game, let us know. We've heard multiple reports. So it's hard to keep it straight sometimes about what gets moved around and whatnot.
And Timminsville as well, because Timminsville is supposed to play to Lakeview.
Yeah.
The Whirlwinds. Hey, let Timminsville play as much as they can.
That's right, last season. Get them on the field. Get them on the field.
Southside Christian will host McCormick.
I'm interested to see, McCormick's a sneaky good team. They got the Durant kid at running back, good player. I don't think they could beat Southside Christian, but maybe they put up a fight. We'll see what happens. For sure.
Yeah. Hey, that's another team where, hey, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, give it all.
It's Southside. Do everything you can. And then, of course, so Rich Ringernell was supposed to play Wagner Sally.
I don't know what's going on with those guys. If you guys know, let us know. We're all over the place with those.
What Wagner Sally's got going on this Friday either. Then we got Dixie at Ware Shoals, and Whitmire will host Calhoun Falls to close it out for 1A.
Yeah, Dixie, I think, is still 4-1, so they're playing some good ball there, surprisingly enough. So we'll see how that turns out. Do want to mention one more game, a Skeeza matchup here, John. A big one in 2A Skeeza. That is PD Academy on the road at Winsboro Academy.
Okay.
Both teams undefeated, playing for number 1 in the region. Really, the winner of that region is probably one of the 2 or 3 best teams who are going to compete for that crown. PD beat Florence Christian earlier in the year. Winsboro beat Florence Christian a couple weeks ago. So, really good ball game there. Both teams are experienced. They got a good mix of run and pass. It's going to come down to who doesn't turn the ball over. So you say a lot of it's very cliche in big games, but this team, both teams have experience on both sides. You're going to see it come down to like maybe a fluke play or a turnover. So who can make the plays when they need to be is going to come out victorious.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I like the Eagles, obviously, but we'll see how that goes. But well, John, let's run through the sponsors one more time, and we'll talk to the polls. Is that cool?
Yeah,
let's do that. Let's do that. So one more shout out for you guys got here to the Georgia Agency, serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 35 years. Full line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance. If you're a seasonal employee, maybe a small business owner, maybe a waiter, whatever it is, if you can't get insurance through your company, give these guys a call to help you out. And they don't charge anything to do it either. They just get you the best deal possible, and they don't take any money out of your pocket for sure. So call Richard, Wayne, Bradley, and the crew at DoorDaxy.net. And then also Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union, one of our newest sponsors here. And boy, John, do they do a good job. They really do. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees that other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Secured Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securedadvantagefcu.com. That's securedadvantagefcu.com. Win at banking, thrive at life. Member NCUA. So check out those guys. We appreciate them being our sponsors. If you guys want to hop on board the train, let us know. Got some good things coming out for you. We'd love to have you guys and your business on board as well. But John, let's roll through these polls that we complain about every week, and let's just give our thoughts on those again, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll start with 5A. Obviously, no mystery here. We got Dutch Fork number 1, Fort Dorchester number 2, Gaffney is number 3, Hannah at 4, Northwestern at 5, Riverside at 6, Dorman 7. That's as we said earlier, Riverside Dorman playing pretty good top 10 matchup there. We've got Sumter hanging around at 8. We haven't talked about Sumter a whole lot this year after they lost that first game to AC Florence.
Yes.
They lost
so much talent.
I think Justice Boone
and the other kid, Davin Jackson, both of them were gone from last year's team. But they've had some nice wins lately.
Yeah, they're hanging around. Spring Valley at 9, and Malden checking in at number 10 this week.
Yeah, that's a team that's got as much talent as anybody inside they will mention every week, but they got to put some big wins together, and that'll start this week in Hillcrest probably.
Yeah. In 4A, we've got AC Florence at number 1, Greenville at 2. I'm kind of surprised.
I think they just moved back up.
Stayed 2.
I want to say they may have dropped down below Myrtle Beach last week with that loss, but I think they moved back up with Myrtle Beach's loss. I can't remember how it worked out.
Yeah,
but that loss to Northwestern, not bad to lose Northwestern, but the way they did and the score was not impressive. But they're a good football team.
And I'm not gonna crash on Myrtle Beach for losing Fort Dorchester. I don't know. As you said, hey, we're gonna argue and line and complain about these. That's what they're for, right?
Yep.
We got South Pointe at number 4, Greenwood at number 5.
I think they should be higher than that, probably.
Greenwood?
I think so, yeah.
Would you put them above South Pointe, though? I don't think I would.
After last week, maybe.
I think I might flip Greenville and Greenwood.
Okay.
Well, maybe I won't put Greenwood number 2. Maybe Greenwood 3 or 4.
But hey, we get to see them play soon in region play, so we'll find out.
Maybe we're just splitting hairs here. We've got South Florence at 6, West Florence at 7. Now, you don't find that too often. South Florence and West Florence in the top 10. Catawba Ridge at 8, Indian Lane at 9, and Beaufort hanging around in 10th.
I do got to ask you, John, on this one. We complain about the polls a lot. Read those others receiving votes there and see if you notice anything odd.
We've got York. I already see it. Hartsville. Okay. Lancaster. Okay. Clover. Greer. Fort Mill. They're awful.
Well, here's the worst part about that. 2 of those teams are 5A. We got 2 5A teams receiving votes in the 4A poll, John. And they don't have to take this thing seriously? You got Clover and Fort Mill getting votes in 4A?
Give them some confidence.
I mean, what the heck? I mean, honestly, I know we say it every week. I don't know why these guys do this poll half the time. I mean, I guess it gives us something to talk about. We appreciate that. But if you're not going to do your research, you're going to have not 1, but 2 teams that aren't even in the right dang classification in the poll receiving votes. So how do you get it that wrong?
Thank goodness they're not in the top 10.
Gosh, that's unbelievable. There was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? I think Hattersville or somebody was in the top 10 in 4A and got votes in 3A. So it's all over the place, man. Like I get it, like mistakes happen, but you can't be this blatant about it. Like somebody needs to have their vote taken away.
I agree.
This is pitiful.
I agree.
Brian says we got to get in there somewhere. I guess so. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, I like we say, I know these guys can't see every game every week because they just, the games are on TV. You can't see everybody play. But you got to know who's playing what classification. That should be a prerequisite to get a vote. Is you got to know who plays where. This is unbelievable. I can't.
And they're not any good. Well,
No.
they're not any good.
No, that's the problem. They should be in the poll in 3A.
No.
Derek says these polls suck. They do. They're awful, man. They are awful. But let's get on down to 3A and before I say something that gets me in trouble.
All right, 3A. This makes a little bit of sense here. We got Daniel number 1, Dylan number 2, Clinton number 3.
They're climbing up. They're climbing up.
Camden at number 4, Chapman at number 5. Here I have a problem again. Chapman is 5, Brooklyn Casey is 6. Brooklyn Casey went to Chapman, beat him head to head. Why are they behind him? Why are they behind him? Are they behind him because they got beat by, at the time,
a good Chapman team? Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't like it. Number 7, we have Gilbert. Number 8, Powdersville.
Still undefeated.
Still undefeated.
Making history every week.
Number 9 is Ainer. And number 10, Woolrich.
Yeah. Brian says, does Greg get votes in 5A? Might as well. If we're just throwing them out wherever, you put whoever you want. I mean, it's a power rankings, not a classification poll apparently now.
Put them in the top 10.
Might as well.
In 2A, here we go with the All-Stars here. We have Abbeville 1. And how do you like this? Greg Collegiate getting 1 vote.
Yeah.
They should probably be getting more.
I tell you what, and that's something, I looked at the way the brackets fall out. That game will be played between those two before even Upper State happens. I think that'll be round 3, so round before Upper State. So interesting to see how that turns out. And Silver Bluff sitting there at 3, we'll get to in a second. They're sitting there, that top Lower State team, just laying in the weeds. And good thing for them, they don't have to beat both Abbeville and Gray. They just got to beat one of them.
That's right, and in Columbia.
Yep.
You got, as you said, Silver Bluff sitting at number 3. Right behind them, the defending Lower State champions, Marion Swamp Fox, at 4.
It's another team that I feel like hadn't played a lot of games this year.
Yeah.
I think maybe played 3, maybe 4, but I think 3 sounds right.
Yeah, and that's the case with a lot of these PD schools this year, unfortunately, because there's a lot of talent down there, too. Number 5, we got Barnwell. Number 6 is Saluda. Number 7, we talked about Timberland. They might could be a little bit higher than where they are. 8, Wade Hampton. Number 9, Christchurch. And number 10 is Andrews. And going down to 1A, we got Southside Christian sitting at 1. Bamberg Earhart is 2. Lamar at 3. Lakeview at 4. Ridge Spring Minetta. Where's Waldo? Who are they playing? Where are they?
Big win last week, though, over Hill. I'll give them that.
They are number 5. Got Whale Branch at 6. Baptist Hill 7. Louisville at 8. Blackville Hill at 9. And Hampton sitting at number 10.
So, great polls there, as always, guys. We love those things. But let's get into our pick'em results real quick, John. Yeah, if you guys aren't doing our weekly pick'em, be sure to get in there. We post the games usually on Wednesday, 10 games. You fill out the form. We post the leaders afterwards. And, we're dropping your lowest weeks. Still time to get in there and make some noise. But shout out to our Week 5 winners. Brian L. with an outstanding 10-0 there. Big game for him. We have a couple guys, I think 6 guys going 9-1 there, and a few at 8-2. I went 8-2, John 6-4. So a lot of high scores last week, John. It seemed like
very high.
A lot of high scores. I think that's our third.
You guys got pretty lucky last week.
I think that's our third 10-0 week we've had so far. And then looking at our overall leaders now, a tie for first between Tyler D and Kane E, both at 39.
Very nice.
We got 3 guys tied for third: Mark F, Brian L, Ryan F, all at 38. Some guys at 36 there, and then the 35's creeping in the top 10 as well. I'm sitting there at 38 or 39. John here at 32. Really anybody's game still. Like we're saying, we're dropping your lowest week. So if you got some 7s in there, keep getting some 8s and 9s, you drop that 7 out, then you're right there. So not too late for anybody to win. It's anybody's ball game still here. So definitely get into that if you haven't been a part of it. I usually post it on Twitter and Facebook on Wednesdays how all the games we're going to be in and where to hop in. So definitely do that and join us as part of the pick. It's one of the fun things we've done so far this year.
Yeah, I love it. I'd like to be doing a little bit better. I don't think I'm going to be dropping any 7s, but hey, I like it. It's fun. It's
been good. But yeah, so once again, you guys tuning in, we appreciate it. Curtis, Derek, Brian, Cavante, Kevron, everybody for doing the comments. We love seeing that. It helps to make the show better. So if this is your first time here, we appreciate it. like our post, like our page, so you'll know we usually go live on Tuesday nights with our preview show, and then we do a recap show on Sunday, just podcast only. So if you follow us on Facebook, right here, Moving the Chains SC, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. Check out our podcast, our only audio-only version that goes out on Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. So be sure to check out that for some cool stuff. We got some interviews coming you guys' way as well soon. So we got a lot of cool stuff on the way for you. So definitely follow us on every social media outlet we have. We're posting, try to post different stuff on each one. Sometimes it's hard, but we do the best we can. But John, any final thoughts here before we roll into week 6 games here?
Yeah, I love it. And hey, tip of the cap to Gaffney Indians.
Yeah,
I love
win.
the trash talk. I love getting after it. That's great. It's fun. I enjoy it. I probably won't pick against Gaffney again all year.
To the playoffs, maybe Dutch Clark. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
But I love it. Keep it coming.
Yeah, so thanks you guys for tuning in. Once again, John Epps, Kevin Thomas has been our week 6 preview show. If you go to a game, let us know this week. If you're at a game that we're at, come say hey. Love to meet you. But we will talk to you guys soon.